Okay.
Okay.
Now he's eating.
Oh, the game music. I forgot how much more epic they made the game music, Zombie Girl.
Yeah, it is a lot cooler.
All right, well, with some rather large intensity starting off this best of 3, spawning here in the top left corner of the map, it's going to be the Teal Archon, made up of Team Liquid's Bunny and Chanman.
The bottom right, as the purple Zerg, it's Hyun and Massan.
Okay, so first and foremost, I think without question, we're going to give a lot of favoritism here to Hyun, just because it's freaking Hyun, of all people. I do think, though, in Heart of the Swarm, given enough of a best-of series, Hyun versus Bunny might actually end up taking quite a few games off Hyun. But with Legacy of the Void, lots of stuff changed, and I guess for the viewers who are tuning in, maybe it's your first time, what you're seeing right now is Archon mode. Archon mode is where it's still the 1v1 general game that you all know and love for StarCraft, but there's 2 players on each side controlling it. Now, we've put requests and heavily pleaded with the developers to do some sort of indicator so we can know who's doing what, who has selected which units, who's playing micro, who's playing macro. But as of right now, it's still a bit of a guessing game as to who's doing what. I did talk to both teams beforehand, though. And from what I understand, Bunny's going to ask Chanman to watch the minimap. And Hyun is essentially asking the same thing of Massan. But Massan, for those who don't know, despite the fact that he's well known for his Hearthstone stream now, used to actually be a semi-pro StarCraft player. He was actually quite good. He used to cast a little bit on Base Rate TV with me. And gosh darn it, I love this guy to death. So between Hyun and Massan, I've just got a lot of love for this Zerg team here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I guess you can see player pings now. That's new.
Yeah, that might get annoying.
That might get very annoying depending on how much it happens.
As casters, we already did not like pings when like other, like, you know, one caster pings once and you're like, shh, don't do that again. No. But to see like a billion of them because it's Archon mode, that might get, I think, annoying. But anyways, what I was gonna say is that this might be a stomp. I mean, it really does depend on how much they're kind of following the rules, I guess, and not doing everything themselves. The pro gamers, Hyun and Bunny, that is. Because Massan, as you said, is an ex-pro gamer, but Chanman is an ex-personality. That's why he's brought on.
Yeah.
Not necessarily pro gamer. I actually don't know what Chanman ever reached. Like maybe Diamond.
So, fun fact here really quick about this map. This ramp is not as wide as it looks. Bunny and Chanman have chosen to wall off over here, and that's fine, but it's actually not too much larger to wall off on this ramp. These, this whole, like, chunk is, like, actually blocked out, and this is actually a very small wall off. Reaper getting a bit of harassed. You guys saw that new ability, the grenade, coming out. I guess, I didn't hear, was there the new bomb sound? I know we saw the bomb sound at BlizzCon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like the little load up and then it explodes.
Yeah, it's like beep, 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 pew.
Yeah.
They may have reverted it, I'm unsure. I mean, keep in mind, I'm fairly certain, I can't say this with any indication of, like, proof, but I'm fairly certain the live launch of Legacy was more or less the beta, just polished slightly.
Oh, my cat figured out how to play with the toy.
Hype?
It's figuring it out.
Well, Bailey Nest coming down, and I just want to point out, by the way, Hyun and Massan have decided to stick on 2 bases. Normally this isn't that big of a deal, but with Queens injecting less than they do in their Heart of the Swarm counterparts, a lot of players are going for faster thirds just for larvae, if nothing else. So the fact that these two have stuck on 2 bases and are looking to all in, not so surprising. Maybe hoping that Chanman will weigh Bunny down a little bit on the defense.
Maybe. I mean, so far the macro is looking okay, and the micro too, so I feel like the Chanman has got some skills, or Bunny is doing a lot of the work. The Liberators won't help that much against the Lings, unfortunately, as they are single targets, and you can easily run around their targeting circle, but they could potentially snipe a couple of key Banelings, maybe. If the Hellions survive, they're obviously going to be the greatest benefits here, as they can, of course, kite everything, but they need to survive. If they're surrounded and killed, then it is game.
This kind of hole in the wall is actually probably better. The Banelings, though, they're going to bust in. Take out the wall for the most part. Hellions can try and kite around for a bit, but it's going to hurt no matter what happens. SCVs are clumped up. Damage is being dealt. More Banelings coming in, but keep in mind, Massan and Hyun have only just barely done enough damage so far to equalize this. They're actually not pulling ahead just yet.
Yeah.
But it's not about the Banelings so much as the Lings. It's always the Banelings open the door and the Lings win the game. So right now, it's a little bit questionable, but those Liberators have They got a lot of potential. Is it going to be enough?
I think so far, it looks like it. All the well, most of the Hellions survived, and of course, he's still making them 2 at a time. You know, one of the worst things that can happen is they bust like the main ramp and they get the reactor too. Oh, or surround happens. Actually, does find that little bit of a choke to actually kind of reverse that and kill a lot of the Lings. And with the Lings gone, the Banelings aren't that difficult to deal with. Only losing your natural is not quite enough for the Zerg player, especially when they're losing drones on the other side to those Liberators.
Yeah, Team Terra and Archon have also managed to maintain a fairly high drone count behind this. Not exactly super high, but 25 workers is not bad. This is usually an attack that ends up in a lot more worker death. Liberator is going to just chip away at the Banelings, not a problem. Now, I guess there may have been a small counterattack while this went on. Several workers died for Team Zerg while this was going on.
Right, yeah, the Liberators got in there, and I guess they weren't microed because obviously they died, but they still did damage.
Well, Terran actually in a pretty good spot, I gotta say. Zerg mostly doing all right, but not having that third's really gonna hurt. 2 more Liberators coming on in. Roach roaring on the way. If they can get some Ravagers out, these Liberators will not be an issue. See, I still don't know that I agree with the final change they made to Liberators prior to release. One of the problems you had was just the lack of early game anti-air to take these out. So they thought nerfing the range would be fine, but the fact that you can still produce 2 at a time, kind of still an issue. Jones in the main just getting picked off. Pulled a little bit slow here.
The Roaches aren't out yet.
And not enough Queens in the natural. Jones getting pulled, but this is quickly getting turned around on Hyun and Massan.
Yeah. Well, I think it's officially we can state that their all-in did not work, but a follow-up all-in can almost always have a chance at working. Either they don't expect it, so they're they're macroing or whatever, or well, they're just trying to replenish their SCVs, whatever happens. Here, they're losing all their Hellions, so that's another reason why like a potential second follow-up all-in could work if Hyun and Massan had the money.
They've changed the targeting circles of the Liberators slightly, if you've noticed. It's like less little dots, more longer ones. It's actually kind of harder to see the circle now, in my opinion.
I didn't really see it. Oh.
Because you remember, it used to have like the siege tank dot, and it's just like a circle with little cuts in it. Now it's like, I don't know, it's more fancy.
Well, I believe you, but I haven't gotten a good look at it yet.
Got some folks in chat saying this is an Overwatch map. I can kind of see that from the colors, but this is definitely StarCraft 2. GG gets called out of Hyun. Massan saying, no, Hyun, why did you leave? We got this.
Yep, no. GG.
GG. Map number 1, gonna go to Team Terran, Bunny and Chanman. Alright, so as said, guys, we are gonna set up some giveaways. So we already gave away one of the probe plushies. Let's swap this up. We'll kind of rotate through. Next thing we'll do is the pylon USB charger. Resets. Pylon USB charger. Alright, I just realized there's a heavy stream delay, so I gotta be careful about when I do these, or it looks like a spoiler.
That's a good point.
Anyways, good luck on everyone who wants to get the pylon USB charger. It's actually pretty cool, and it glows, which is awesome. This next map coming up is called Ulrena. It's a very long left to right map, but it's not very tall. It's a bit of a strange map, honestly. But I've played one game on this map. It's got the Deadwing tile set for those who remember. It's nothing too insane, but it's a very interesting map. This is one I would have thought gets vetoed by everybody, but it's the second pick in the series, so somebody here is comfortable with it.